Hi, class. This is Steve again. As we begin wrapping up this class, and in particular, as we begin to look at Chapter 10, this is really an interesting topic that probably should have been brought up at the very first, and that is how do we define religion? And I've been digging through different textbooks that I have, and none of them have an adequate definition, I don't think, of religion. I think religion comes down to um, I guess in philosophical terms, believing in something that may not be able to be proven. Um, it's as you've noticed throughout the entire semester, the author of our textbook has some pretty strong feelings about proving that religion exists, and he goes through whether God exists, why does evil exist, he goes on and basically tries to prove that no such God exists, therefore, no religion exists that makes any sense. In other words, unless it can be proven, then it's invalid. At least that's what our author has led us to believe. The textbook that I used to use, which I really wish we could still use again, is called The Philosophy of Religion by Davies, Brian Davies. And it's a really good book. Um, it it addresses the issues much more balanced, I think, than what the textbook we're using. But again, we wanted to try to save you guys some money with textbooks. So, I think the text overall isn't bad, and hopefully you've learned some stuff about religion, about philosophy, about the philosophy of religion, about evil, about miracles, about epistemology, all the various things that we've looked at so far. But again, now we come to this definition of religion. And the essential argument, as I've said, is unless it can be proven, then it doesn't exist. My argument is, and it is one of the philosophical arguments, is that something can be believed without being proven. Um, I think of something, um, okay, think about this. I was at the Rocky Mountains a number of years ago. I know where you guys are up in the Northwest. It's beautiful up there too. I used to have to go to Seattle a lot, so I got to see some of the countryside up there. It's just beautiful. But I was in the Rocky Mountains and I was at the Continental Divide, and I was just looking out, and I just had this unbelievable feeling as I stared out at the Rocky Mountains sitting at the Continental Divide. And I couldn't prove that feeling. All I know was that that feeling existed inside of me, and it was a breathtaking kind of feeling. Um, I couldn't prove. How could I prove what I felt? I mean, I guess if I jumped for joy, well, maybe. But that still didn't prove exactly how I felt, which was something I can't even really explain. It was awe inspiring, AWE. It was awe inspiring. So you look at other facets of life that can't be proven either, and yet they exist. Think about love. Now, love can be expressed in a number of different ways, but I don't know if love can ever be proven. When you say you love somebody with all your heart, you can demonstrate that through your actions. You can tell them that. But as far as proving that a thing called love exists, I think that's very difficult to do. So it is with religion. And I respect all religions. I respect those who have no religious beliefs. That's what makes this country so great, is that we can believe how we wish to believe, and and you're free to do that. So many other countries, that's not an option. You either believe the state religion or you don't. Um, I was in Romania a couple of decades ago. It was right after the dictator had gotten overthrown and subsequently murdered, and democracy came in, and that was the form of government. But I was touring one city in particular. I was there doing some mission work, actually. And I was touring this one city, ran into some guys from Ireland, and we hung out for a while. And we went to look at one of the state churches that was there. It had bullet holes because this was part of where all the activity happened during the uprising. But anyway, there were bullet holes in the door. But what was interesting was the inside of the church was absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. Um, but that was the only church that people were allowed to go to, was the state church. And the state church preached, if you will, the party line, which was the dictator Ceausescu. So whatever he said is what went. So it might have been a beautiful building, a beautiful church building, but there was no church there. There was no real religion even there. So I tell you that to say that religion can be defined in a lot of different ways, in ways that really can't be proven. However, one chooses, and I guess that's where the balance is between faith and reason. I think I can see the two coexisting, but however, I think our author in this particular textbook really doesn't believe that those two can exist simultaneously. He believes, at least in my reading of the text, that you have to prove it to believe it. If that's in fact his worldview, then I would think he would lead kind of a sad life, because there are many things that cannot be proven that yet still exist. I can't prove that the sun will rise tomorrow. Best guess is it will, and from all indications from thousands and thousands of years, yes, it will. But there's no proof that it will, because what happens if all of a sudden we had nuclear explosions, or we got hit by a huge meteor and it blocked out the sun? Well, the sun may rise, but we would never see it because it would be so darkened. It's kind of a bad example, I guess. But anyway, so I just want you to read through his text and see what you think. There'll be a short quiz, and I think there's a discussion board due on this coming one, on chapter 10. And then for next week, which is, well, not this coming week, but the week after that, there'll be a final paper that I'll expect you to turn in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and post the topic this week, so you'll have 2 weeks to work on it. And it should be very easy, because I'm not asking you to do a lot of research, or any research for that matter. What I'm asking you to do is reflect on this class, and reflect on the class, on what you learned, on maybe a viewpoint that changed, or a viewpoint that was strengthened. So it's really a reflection paper, not a research paper. So it's really, you can use first person, I, me, that kind of thing in there. It doesn't have to be an APA format or anything like that. Just double space, 12-point font. Use good grammar, good spelling, those kinds of things. But so that's basically the topic, but I'll go ahead and post it as well. The topic is reflect on this semester. What is it that you've learned? Has anything changed the way you've thought in the past? Have the thoughts that you've had in the past been strengthened or weakened because of this class, etc.? So it's really just your reflections. Okay, class, well, enjoy this week, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.